Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Shah Azrai 046943 and today my team and I will be presenting about Gunnar Solskjaer's a spoken discourse analysis using Haim's ethnography of speaking model. Next slide. So who is Gunnar Solskjaer? He is a Norwegian professional football manager and a former player. He is now currently the manager of the English club Manchester United, and therefore our genre of the video is sports. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alia Batrisya Binti Zamuri with metric number 047696. From the video that we have chosen, we have decided to use Haim's speaking model as our selection of discourse. Haim's speaking model is basically an ethnography of communication, which means language and culture are related and cannot be separated. Culture here also means the environment too. For example, when we are hanging out with our friends in a casual setting, we are going to communicate differently than when we were in a boardroom or a meeting. The whole idea of communication is that it is changeable, that it will vary according to a number of things. So let's get into it and see what those number of things are. So the first one is S in speaking. So S stands for scene and setting. P stands for participants. E stands for ends. A stands for X sequence. K stands for key. I stands for instruments. And N stands for norms. And G stands for genre. Now we're going to look at this acronym, speaking, and what each of those letters stand for, and why it's going to help you become more effective at communicating while relating it to the video that we have chosen today. Thank you. Next.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Aizuddin Harif, 046164. So for the first letter S, which is for scene and setting. Scene and setting is the actual physical location where the conversation for the speech act take place. All right, so this is the recorded conversation which is took place in a studio with no live audience, without live audience. The conversation is just between Gunnar Solskjaer and the host only. So the setting, this session can be analyzed as an informal turn-taking process, and because it is achieved the adjacency pair because both of the speakers deliver successively in the conversation. I can say that there are also insertion sequence in this conversation because there are questions being responded with a question. This conversation also is free and easy because the language used is informal and it occurs in a relaxed situation because there are no pressures because there are no live audience. And also, there are no outside disruption because this is a recorded session. It can be edited, no live audiences. It's just between the host and Gunnar Solskjaer. Okay, moving on to the next slide. The participants are the people involved in the conversation. It helps us to decide how we are going to communicate with the participants. So, Gunnar Solskjaer, he can actually strategize how he will communicate with the audience. Okay, the recorded session between Gunnar Solskjaer and the host is acted out as the interlocutor. There are no live audience, and the mode used is the simple language, informal simple language was used because it is considering the audience from the worldwide, from the entire world. The narrative types of answer also being used by Gunnar Solskjaer to story or to tell the audience about himself. And also it focuses on the frequent asked question from the search engines. Next, Gunnar Solskjaer also applied the sharing concept, which he tried to cater to the audience's needs in knowing about him and also to get his information and also the exclusivity of himself and also the club. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nurdania Hadirah Binti Harman Hamzi, metric ID 047377. So moving on to the next key point, which is ends. Ends means the purpose of the conversation or the speech act being performed. It will tell the reason behind the engagement of the conversation. Ends highlights on the purposes, goals, and outcome of the conversation. For example, this can be seen throughout the whole interview of the football manager, Gunnar Solskjaer. The whole purpose of the interview is to know more about him as the interviewer asks questions about his background, the history behind Ol's involvement in the football career, and even his hobbies beside the football. Next. Next is act sequence. This means the speech acts and the order in which these sequences are presented to the speaker. This highlights the form, content, and sequential arrangements in conversations. Different speech acts include apologizing, inviting someone to somewhere, greetings, requests, assertions, and a lot more. In conversations, there is turn-taking and interrupting. For example, you may request to interrupt someone who is speaking to you. Hence, this could lead to overlapping speeches and interruptions during the turn-taking sequences. So this whole thing is what we call as act sequence. This can be seen in the interview when the interviewer asks all about his height. All answered back with a question, what do you think? And the interviewer when, what do I think? But all said at the same time as the interviewer in centimeters. So the overlapping speeches and interruptions between all and the host happen here. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Mohamad Nornazirol Rahim, 047601. Okay, let's move on to key. This means the way speaking is performed, the tone of voice you use, the inflection patterns, the prosody, which means intonation, the manner in which you deliver the message, so the style. You can think of it as elements combined by delivery. The tone of voice they used was normal and sounded casual. From the interview, we could see that from early till the end of the interview by Gunnar and the interviewer, the message conveyed is still serious, respectful, and matter of fact. Okay, next. The style for delivery was in a relaxing way. For instance, in the minutes 2.47, when the interviewer was asking about Ole Gunnar's chance, and he couldn't sing it there. Both of them had a small laugh there. The rule of politeness was there even there was a little bit like informal and casual. Instrumentalities or instruments, and that means the mode of communication that is used. They were broadcasting the message in Skysports football channel on YouTube. Okay, moving on to the instrument. For the instruments, they were broadcasting the message in Skysports football channel on YouTube. When it came with slang, Ole Gunnar did not speak like Norwegian English. Ole is Norwegian, but the slang was into British a bit, but not too close to native speaker. He's been gotten along with English team for more than about 20 years, while the host was in British slang due to his native speaker in United Kingdom. Interpersonal communication is two-way means of communication would be the mode of communication used in this interview. It involved a spontaneous exchange of information. Ole Gunnar stated information or expressed feelings, and the interviewer listened to what has been said and responded accordingly. Thank you. Next.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Mohamad Nazri bin Abu Hassan, 047483. So now moving on to the norms of interaction. So according to Himes, he stated that norms refer to the culture or norms that govern their social interaction. So based on the interview, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a Norwegian and their conversational style are direct, by get to the point quickly and establish the boundaries before addressing the finer details. So the agency pair that present is the summon and answer, and in this data, a norm is established as Norwegian give direct answer, while only in the interview, only give direct answer with facts, numbers, and based of his experience as a former Manchester United player. So in fact, he even specified the usage of inch and centimeter according to the region, as Norway using centimeters compared to British and United States using inch. Okay. Next is the last one is general. So general shows that there are different types of communication such as jokes, gossip, and conversation. So interview is a form of conversation which therefore the genre was identified as conversation, and as the form there was form of turn-taking styles where the most agency pairs that was identified was summons and answer. So that's all from me.
To conclude, Haim's ethnography analysis have helped us in understanding the spoken discourse. The speaking model has helped us study the relationship between speech and also social relation. The interview also highlights the casual form of adjacency pair where the most naturally occurring spoken discourse happen. Through many instances, we have learned that all Gunnar Solskjaer prefers a direct to the point approach and specific answer as the interview progresses. This precise approach is perfect for a football club manager, like the glorious manager that he is. That is all from us, Pendeka Berenam. Thank you.